Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Bro Talk podcast. I'm here with my brother Isaac. We got Mark G, aka Brewski, going to be on in a few. And then we got Balel, who's cutting somebody's hair right now. So he'll be here when he get here.
When it's done, right?
I know he listening to this show. He gonna roast us when he get on. So, so bro, man, how we start our conversation usually is we just like to check in with one another. Believe it or not, we are brothers through an organization, but most importantly, we're brothers who have been together, have known each other now for over 20 years. And so we've created this bond, and we like to have this opportunity for us to be able to talk about manhood, brotherhood, and fatherhood, and all the things in between that we're going through. Each of us has a family, kids that we're raising, significant others or whatnot. So the purpose of this show is really for us to have these conversations. So for today, we're going to be talking about confidence, which we believe is a very, very important topic for us as men. I think it affects men from all different backgrounds and things like that. So we're going to get into that conversation pretty soon. So, but before we get into that, if you're watching right now, we want you to go ahead and we want you to hit that share button. Go ahead and share it with people that you know, people that you like. You even share it with people that you don't like, and have go ahead and do that. Click on the link. Come to the show. We do watch the comment section. So if you have any comments or any things like that or any questions, we love to get those from you. That was such a long introduction. Ike,
Nah,
what's
it was
going?
good, man. I think we needed it, right? Give people time to get in, give people time to,
Yeah,
make that recommendation. I think we should probably do that a little bit more. So, if you guys are logged in and you enjoy listening to Bro Talk, I'm sure you got another friend that would enjoy it as well too. So, as Brother Hayes said, please make sure y'all tune in, and also, make sure you go pick up this book, Leadership Under Fire, man. Written by Kareem J. Hayes himself. I haven't had a chance to dig into it yet. I just actually got it in the mail about an hour and a half ago. So I'm looking forward to reading it, bro.
appreciate it, man.
Kudos again on
Thank
the
you.
release of that.
Thank you, man. Hey, I definitely want to shout out one of the brothers, man, who's one of my colleagues at work, read the book, provided me with a review, man. I definitely appreciate you. Frat, you know who you are. Definitely appreciate your support for sure. Ike, man, what's going on in your life, man? It sounded like I heard like a YouTube going on in the background about cooking or something.
Nah, that YouTube was actually about the market, man. The market is
Ah,
looking great right now. If y'all
yeah,
haven't had a chance to just like peek into it and see what's happening right now,
yeah.
um,
Tesla and
um,
Bitcoin going crazy.
47 got this joint up right now. So I mean, I would say if there was any silver lining or any positive about the results of what happened this past week, it would be my bank account's look well, it's not my bank yet, but my my accounts are looking a little
A little
bit better
different,
right now
a little
today.
bit better.
So yeah, Bitcoin is probably playing around like 88,000 right now, 88
Yeah,
to almost
it was
90,000
like
right now. This is
65 like a week ago, right? Or 2 weeks
65.
ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For it's been around there for a while, 50s and
Yeah,
60s for a while. So to see it,
yeah,
jump up, I mean, it definitely, I definitely saw the difference in my account. So I'm definitely glad to see that and hear that. There we go,
yeah.
Trina. There we go. Bitcoin, yours is up too. Yep, absolutely, man. It's that time. Make sure the thing is you got to make sure that you're monitoring it, because just as fast as it went up today, that $20,000, $25,000, uptick,
Yeah.
it could be straight down in the next couple. So keep an
Yeah.
eye on it. It looks like we're creeping up on $100,000 right now too, which has kind of been a benchmark that people have been talking about for a while now. So I'm looking forward to see if we can get there, over the next couple of days. But it'll be a push, man. So that's just where I am. From that's what I was actually just kind of paying attention to. I think the stock market is looking all right now as well too. But again, this is kind of all a kind of temporary run. So everybody kind of keep an eye on your account if that's something that you're into. I would recommend that everybody, at least educates himself on it, or gets understanding of it. And Trini, you say your son keeps you educated, which is great, right? So I think, imagine if we would have known about the stock market 20 years ago, when let's say we were in college or of college age, and when Facebook just started coming on the scene, right? If you
Yeah,
would
we
have
were
bought
so busy
stocks
trying to
then.
use it, then buying into
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. So I would encourage everybody, man. Bitcoin's been around for a while. When Bitcoin first came out, it was a fraction of a penny. If you would have bought some then, you probably would not be worried about anything right now. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid of new things. Don't shun away from new things. Don't think everything is a scam. Unless I would just encourage everybody to kind of do their research, because there are scams out there. I think 40, unfortunately now 47 has some scams that are out there as well too, to raise money for his campaign that he kind of put out in the crypto world. But there are some that are actually great projects that are doing plan to do some great things within the community over the next forever. So I would say just kind of educate yourself on that and kind of get up to speed. So I'm looking forward to what this year and next few years brings as it relates to that. But yeah, that's one thing I was kind of focused on today. That's kind of had my attention.
Yeah,
What
I
about
know
you,
you
man?
can.
What's up?
Man, so yeah, man, I'm writing chapter 2 right now, man, for my dissertation. So that's what I've been thinking about. Well, it's basically already written because I wrote it in another class, man. But now I got to go back and go through it, make sure I got all the elements there. And some of the things that I was thinking about last year, I'm thinking about new things this year. So just kind of looking at it, man, and just seeing, what some of the changes I want to make and some things I want to keep, take out. So it's worth 200 points. So I need to make sure, man, it's right, it's tight, because man, I'm not trying to be around for extra time at the school, man, paying out unnecessary money unless I have to. But that's been pretty
Yeah.
much my focus, bro, is getting this writing done, man. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Anybody that's watching that's working under dissertation right now, you already know, like, it's tough, man. You gotta, especially if you have a family and you got responsibilities, man. It's hard to focus because you got so many things trying to grab your attention. So I know, man. I don't write the best at home. So I like to go to coffee shops and write because then I can just kind of get away from everything and be able to focus. So that's the journey, man, I'm on right now, is just getting that done, being that done, because around this time next year, man, I should be defending my dissertation.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what's up. It's a cool
yeah.
thing to say, and I mean, right now for you, I'm sure it feels like it's a long ways away, but
It feels,
it's
yeah,
gonna go quick. It's gonna move quick.
yeah. I was telling, man, one of the bros. So we got Frat, that's the head basketball coach at RIT, and I was walking by grabbing some water, and they was going to practice. I was like, "Hey," I said, "Oh man, put me in, coach, man. All I gotta do is drop 50 pounds, get that surgery to make me taller. Yo, I got all 4 years of eligibility left, bro. Yo, just put me in."
I think there's a reason for that.
Yo, put me in, bro. Like, I'm ready, bro. I played basketball maybe like back in the summer, man. Yo, when I tell you age catches up to you, and again, part of it is just kind of health and diet and wellness and everything. But yo, when you don't play basketball for a while, man, and you try to get out there and run with these cats, and this, I wasn't even running with young cats. I'm
Yeah.
running with people like my age and above, right? Yo, a down and back, bro. I'm ready to take a break.
Yeah, it's different, man. I played a pickup game around this time last year, right before Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and I could remember how I felt that day, like as I was driving home. and how much worse I felt the next day. Man. It's not the same, man. It's not the same.
You're like, yo, what
And
did
I'm
I
glad
just do to
I
myself?
at least got up there and did a little bit of stretching because,
Yeah.
man, I would have been done. So I get it, bro. I get it.
Yeah, man. So, and then having kids that play basketball, I noticed that playing, and I think this is like true when I was young, right? Was I excelled better playing basketball outside than I did inside. It was something about, I don't know if it was the recycled air or what, but I hated running inside. Outside, I felt like I could run for days. But inside, bro, like that was not my thing, man. I could not run inside, man. I don't know if there's a difference. If you're a coach, athletic trainer, doctor, whatever, if you know the answer to that, let us know, because I don't know why for me outside running was way better than inside. Like I felt like I had more oxygen, and maybe that was the case. I don't know. And I was in shape back then, so you can't tell no jokes about that. I was in shape, bro.
Listen, I wasn't gonna say nothing, bro. I was letting you rock out.
Yo, you see me when I was in shape. Like I was in shape.
You were A shape. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I was the right shape. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I didn't have no six pack, but my stomach wasn't hanging over my belt. You know what I'm saying? So I was straight.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Time flies. Things change, man.
Hey, man, it's confidence right there.
There you go. Every man should have it.
Every man should have it, man. Speaking of confidence, man, we got Mark G, aka Bruiser, aka the Jamaican King.
Rude boy.
What you cooking up over here? Because I know you cooking.
No, I ain't cooking this hours. I already cooked this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, guess what I made? I made
rice. Is Brandy in the house?
Yo, Brandy in the house. She can co-sign. She didn't need it.
My niece and nephew in the house.
They're in the house, bro. They can testify that I made this from start to finish. I made rice, corned beef, and hash.
Corned beef and hash?
Yeah.
I thought it was corned beef and hash.
Whatever.
He said he made corned beef and hash.
It is the same thing, right? Yeah, it is the same thing.
Yeah,
I made it, bro. Huh?
It's nice. All right, good job, bro.
Thank you. I could look, man. I was making it, man, and my wife was looking at me like, what is that? I was like, yo, it's corned beef hash. What you mean? I was like, you want some? I was like, you want some? She was like, nah. So they let me eat the meal by myself. My own daughter didn't even want none.
Really?
Because I had no cabbage in it.
You gotta have cabbage for that, bro.
That's what I said.
What kind of rice you use, man? The bag rice?
You already know I use that Wegman steamable rice. Put it in the microwave. 3 minutes.
Man.
And then
that changes everything.
Then I put
I know why.
Then I put the rice. So I put the oil in there. I put the peppers and onions that was already cut up. Put it in there. Boom, right? Let it sizzle for a little bit. And then I put the corned beef in there. Swirled it around. Got it, you know what I'm saying? Warm. And then I put the rice on top. And then I mix that bad boy together, bro. And then I put my seasoned pepper in there because it already got salt. And I just stirred it around. And I let it get crispy on the bottom, too.
Next time you want to be proud of something, man, cook some rice, man.
Deirdre asked if you ordered the family a pizza after that.
Nah, because that was the meal. So if they didn't want to eat, that was on them. Nah, they had turkey burgers and chicken nuggets. Everybody in my house eats something different, man. Like nobody wants to eat the same thing. Only time people eat the same thing. Well, actually, not even when Brandy make food. Because my son, he don't eat what we eat. He eat kid food. Man, we eat food.
That sounds like hungry. That sounds like that's what they're gonna be. They're gonna be.
I keep trying to tell her that, man. She don't want to let him starve. I'm like, all right, let the boy go hungry.
Nah, they won't starve, man. They'll eat. Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Now I ain't ordered them no pizza. And Chloe spelled with a C. Hey man, don't talk about me in my bag rice. It's okay. Listen, man, I'm being resourceful. I had confidence in my rice, in my bag rice.
Listen,
don't have confidence in that, bro. And talk to me about that.
It's a start though, bro. It's a start.
It's a start. Hey man, I'm learning. See, this is what I'm saying. Somebody try to do something different, try to turn a new leaf, and all we need is just a little bit of encouragement to keep going.
I was encouraging that I said, you know what? Before I encourage what type of rice you cook. Because
no, I'm not really talking about y'all. I'm just saying,
I'm just thinking you're married for 13 years?
Yeah, 12 years. 13 in February.
All right, 13 in February. It's right around the corner. 13.
Yeah.
Let's own that. Right?
Yeah.
I think at least you will at least taste it. But I know why she ain't taste
it. Why she ain't taste
it? The rice.
It was jasmine rice.
Them bag rice like you said from Wegmans. And farmboy rice.
Yo, rice is not hard to make, man. People mess it up every day, but rice is not hard to make.
Bro, I don't understand
in the pot, man. Cover it with some water, throw a little salt in there, let the water boil up, steam it after that, man.
Yeah, bro, that looks amazing. Yeah, that looks amazing.
It's amazing, man. Hey, Bruce, hey, man, listen, man.
Oh, bro, we're gonna be in DC next weekend.
Huh?
We're gonna be in DC next weekend.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Rochester next weekend.
Oh, come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, you're gonna be here. That's not helping us.
Yeah.
So, man, we appreciate everybody in the comments. We're just giving folks some time to come in. I appreciate all the haters out there in my cooking skills. It's cool. That's all right. One thing I am a professional at is eating. Just so everybody knows. And
we know.
That's actually what he's getting his PhD in. He just ain't gonna tell y'all that.
Interdisciplinary eating.
His dissertation is on how many meals can I eat in one day.
Yo, when I was in high school, man, when I was in shape, I gotta make that point. I
was in shape, dude. The last time you was in shape was when you was online, bro.
No, I was in shape after that.
2 weeks.
In like 08.
A shape, yeah.
Nah, man.
Let's call Dr. Brock and see what he say about that.
Yeah, he's Dr. Brock, as in like doctor of philosophy. He's not no medical doctor. What are you gonna say?
Just saying, man. He's a doctor, man.
I'm about to be one too.
Yeah. About to be one and is one.
Yeah, totally different.
Hey, listen, you got to be a doctor here before you can be a doctor.
Come on, man. You got to believe it.
That's it.
That's why I'm not going back to school to get a degree, because I believe it. I'm good. I'm gonna keep my Bitcoin in my account, man.
Yo, bro, you growing that money though, because my retirement looking good. I look at it from time to time. I try not to look. I used to look at it weekly, but I stopped doing that. I just look at it, peek at it from time to time. It's growing, my little accounts. But so today, we wanted to talk about confidence, man, and just to kind of, so people that are just coming in right now, welcome to Bro Talk, welcome to the podcast. People in the comments, appreciate you. Keep going ahead, comments, questions. But we wanted to talk about this topic about men and confidence, and we kind of been talking about it here, just kind of in us kind of going back and forth and joking. And so, one of the things, man, that was really eye-opening for me was this past weekend. We just had, for folks that don't know, our college, we just had two young men cross over on the Burning Sands into Rho Alpha chapter, which is our chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity.
PA all day.
Yeah, and if y'all got something to stay about, you just send us an email. We don't mind answering you. So, just to see the confidence that they have grown into, man, over time was just remarkable. And it's just amazing to see that when you have people that are mentoring you and people that are speaking life into you and all those things, man, to see that confidence. But I noticed that this isn't necessarily something that happens for everybody. And I just wanted to have a conversation about it, man, because I'm really concerned that, just kind of from where I sit, working at a university, is that, confidence is a thing that I think doesn't necessarily get talked about in terms of like how does one become confident? Why does one lack confidence? And I love to hear from you, brothers, man, some of your perspective on that. And I'm sure the audience would too, because as men, we do a good job of hiding things. We do a good job of like, kind of blowing things off, and just trying not to, make it seem that things aren't really what they are. So love to hear some of y'all feedback on that.
Well, um, let me take a stab at it.
Okay.
Growing up in the Caribbean, also, um, me being a Jamaican man, I think we just come off the plane confident. Whatever we do, we're just confident. People think it's cockiness, but it's not really cockiness. But within that, though, within that realm, no one. I don't think we were taught. I want to say. Let me go back and say the Caribbean culture. I don't think we were taught how to face. What's the word I'm looking for? Adversity. Is that the correct word? Doctor.
Adversity.
Adversity. Right. Um. At times, and how to face it and still um go about your regular day. All right. And I'm speaking for me, from my transition and while I'm coming here into America and in my transition. But my transition is different from a lot of other Caribbean people because I was pledged and made into a organization that just embodied confidence and have the blueprint about being positive and about being confident,
Mm,
right? So we have that blueprint. Some of the things you said earlier about mentoring, and we exude that. We carry that out. We talk trash because I know sometimes when we're around people, I know people be wondering, do we like each other? You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
Because the way we go at each other, and and then the next day we at each other's house chilling with the family, and people's puzzled by that, right? If you're not around us, it'll puzzle a lot of people, right?
Mm,
But I think that, man, us as men, I'll say Caribbean men, I don't want to say black men, Caribbean and African men, um, the time is changing where they are learning how to do both, be confident and being, know how to deal with issues when it comes. For me, I know how to deal with a lot of other issues, but because of where I wear my heart on my sleeve, so sometimes that messes with me, especially when it comes to family atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? I've been married and divorced, and I have to fight for my son, wasting money, almost $30,000, man, and lawyer fees and stuff like that. Didn't make no sense. Something we could have talked about it and we could have agreed to certain situations. You know what I'm saying? So that's the idiotic things that I see that I try to get over, and I'm just look there now. I gotta waste. You was talking about your 401k and how it looks. You know what I'm saying? Mine is not looking the way it should be looking. because I took a hit like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, so, and you at a certain age where you say, wow, you should be sitting good and you should be well off or trying to do, and it's like you're trying to pick up your face off the ground and to go. So some of that stuff plays on your mind sometimes. So for me,
Mm,
I look at those things, some of those little things that I've learned. Test of a Man, Man Who
yeah.
Thinks He Can, my favorite poem. I look at those little things and I talk to myself about it. And sometimes I'm hard on myself. Sometimes I'm too hard on myself. You know what I'm saying? Where things is not that just hard. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's when you look at people going to depression. You look at people going to thinking about they're not good enough, or something suffers. I have a son and a son and daughter. So you out there, you bust your butt trying to make sure they're okay, they've been taken care of. But sometimes you may lose yourself doing that too, because you're just so focused on trying to make sure they're all right, and then you're not all right. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you got to know how to balance that. You got to know how to balance. And I think with a lot of men or men of color is the balance portion that you got to work. You got to look at it. And I know for me, I have some work to do about balancing things. You know what I'm saying? And to say no. Say no about a lot of things. And I've been saying no a lot to people now within the last 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? To say no to it. If I'm not getting paid for it, I'm gonna say no to it. But those are some of the things, man, that I feel that we as a culture growing up, you know what I'm saying, we need to take better care of self, the inner part of the self, because we have two selves. I always learn that we have two selves. We have the outer layer and we have the inner layer. And the inner layer is the part that's more dangerous, because when you go to bed at night or you lay in your bed, that's what you start thinking. Your mind start taking you places. And if you don't know how to control that, then that's a situation. That's another situation, you know?
Mhm.
So that's my little piece.
Yeah, I like what you said about I'm glad you said it about coming from the Caribbean,
Yeah.
because there are distinctions. There's
Yeah.
distinctions between the Caribbean, for you specifically Jamaica.
Hmm.
It's different when we talk about like some of the brothers in our chapter that are Dominican, and what
Hmm.
in their view of what confidence is. Isaac and I, us as African Americans, like what confidence is to us. I think that's important, man. And Isaac, actually, you put this in our behind the scenes chat, where you talk about the different types of confidence that exist. And I think that's kind of brew part of what you were talking about, is like the different type of confidence that exists, and then knowing like the balance of it is, that is hard to balance, right? Because at one point, do you got to be like, when we think confident, you got to be tough, or do you got to be confident where you got to be quiet, or you got to be confident and you got to be loud, or you know what I'm saying? So because a lot of times we see confidence as the loud one, the one that talks a lot, the one that has to be front and center, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that person is confident. It could just That person could just be narcissistic. You know what I'm saying? So, but Ike, man, talk to us about the different types of confidences that you
Come here.
talk to us about.
Grab your phone.
Yeah, I mean, there's just there is a bunch of them, right? There's that idea of a self confidence, right? There's the idea of the confidence you need to be able to complete a specific task, right?
Mm,
There's certain situations that you might find yourself in. It kind of leads into that whole idea of street smarts, and do you feel like you're confident enough to navigate the situation that you're in? And then obviously from like the social aspect of things, having confidence in social situations, to hold be able to hold a conversation with somebody,
mm,
be able to connect with somebody, be able to kind of make a new friend. And, I think the connection between all those things um, is you really, right? And, your ability to trust yourself, your ability to, um, be flexible, be nimble, your ability to be that I'm going to use the word confident to explain confidence, right? But your level of confidence, I guess I'll say it that way, in those situations. right? To be able to, you know, for me, and I'll use I statements moving forward. Like for me, I feel like I'm confident on the outside, right? But sometimes internally, I have these struggles that, get me to a point where I'm sometimes holding back in certain situations. And I think, it's important, for me in the role that I'm in, whether that be in work or family, that I show confidence and I exude confidence and I don't get easily flustered in certain situations. And as a man, as a black man in that situation, sometimes it gets a little heavy at times too, right? Because you always feel like you have to be on. You always feel like that you have to be on point. You always feel like that if I make a mistake, there's going to be dire consequences that come from that too,
Big on
right?
that.
So
on
we
that.
gotta, yeah. So that's one of the things I always think about is the levels of stress, kind of become higher in certain situations. And if you know me, anybody that ever, that really knows me, that was stress was something that I was struggling with probably, 3 years, 4 years ago. And at this point, I'm just like, listen, I'm gonna live life, right? And I think that having that mindset kind of helped me deal with that balance of confidence. And I'm gonna make this decision. This is how I feel. I feel a lot more comfortable kind of expressing myself in certain situations now, right? Because I'm not worried about like what's the backlash from this or what do other people think? Because ultimately, like I'm going in with the mindset of I really don't care, right? That doesn't work for everybody, That doesn't, isn't something that somebody can, everybody can just turn off, right? For me, it took 30 plus years for me, 38, years to get to that point where I can now say that, what, I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm confident in decisions that I'm going to make. I'm confident in self, right? I'm confident socially. It doesn't really bother me what other people think, but it's not always easy for everybody to do. So, I understand, both sides of that struggle. And, right now I just try to live my life as confident as possible, right? And make decisions and stand on them as much as possible. So that's kind of where I am with it.
So let's talk about the fact that we have to get to a place where we don't necessarily, people that have their opinions, we take them with a grain of salt, and that takes some time to get there. And I'm sure somebody's listening now and probably asking the question like, well, I care about what people say about me because my reputation, and I don't want my character to be misconstrued. So how do you get to a point where you just say, like, you know what, people have their opinion, but I'm still going to go ahead and do what I feel is important, for me, because I'm confident in who I am as a person, because basically what you're saying is that I'm free. That's freedom in that. There's freedom
Yeah.
in, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I try to live free, right? I try to get to that point. And the other piece of the question that you asked was, how can somebody kind of work through that?
Mhm.
People are always going to have opinions of you,
Mhm.
like whether you're confident or not. And if you're not confident, people are going to have more to say about you because of the way that you respond in certain situations, or the way that you don't respond, or the fact that you don't share, or the
Mhm.
fact that you're not showing confidence in decisions that you're making, right? People are always going to have a perspective and a viewpoint of you. It doesn't matter. Be the best person that you can be. That's really what you're on this earth for, right?
Mhm.
To try to make an impact, right? To have some type of influence over certain situations, whatever that is in your life, whatever those things are that you hold dear. But for me, it's just that, like, people are always going to say something. So in my mind, I can separate those two. What you have to say about me doesn't necessarily reflect who I am, right? That's
Mhm.
just your projection of yourself on me, right? You don't know the full me. You don't know me wholeheartedly to even make a lot of those, suggestions or assertions. So why am I going to take that to heart? And you don't even know who I am. And, you know, for me, that's one of the ways that I do it. That's one of the ways that I handle a situation. That's a way that I can kind of separate someone else's perspective of me and what I know to be true. But, you know, it's not always easy for everybody to do.
Bilal asked the question, where does confidence originate from? And I believe confidence originates when you make the decision to be who it is that you were destined to be. Because when we don't know who we are, and let me just unpack that a little bit more. And I'd love to hear your brother's comments on this. But it took a while for me to have confidence in myself because I didn't necessarily understand me. I didn't understand who I was. And that took time and reflection. It took getting married. It took having kids. It took having disappointments. It took a heart surgery. It took a lot of things. And I'm not saying that it should take all those things. That's just my particular journey. And everybody has their own journey with where they find themselves. But um I believe that we have to do some soul searching. And a lot of that I believe starts when we're children, when we're young. And people ask that question, right? That one question that everyone asks when you're a kid, like 100,000 times, like you're supposed to know at that point. So what are you gonna do when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? I don't know.
Alive. I want to be alive.
Yeah, yeah. I want to be that. You know what I'm saying? I want to have fun. I want to hang out with my friends and want to do things and hang out or whatever, man. But that stuff takes time, and to really for some people it takes time, right? Like I just saw this 10-year-old kid. No, he's not 10. He's probably like 12 now. The kid is like a piano virtuoso. He is nice. Like he's playing like John Batiste by ear. The kid is incredible. So I can tell you that kid probably knows what he's going to do for the rest of his life, right? And I think that makes it a lot simpler for him in terms of like knowing, but I'm sure there's a lot of work and things that have to happen, and he's going to continue to grow and continue to learn who he is, man. But you know, it's a journey, but we have to we have to come to a point where we're saying like, hey, I'm taking the time to learn about me. That's why I'm really big on, when we're like younger is like taking the time to explore other things, explore different things, right? So let's say music is your thing, fine. Explore sports, explore acting, explore cooking, explore different things, because sometimes we just say we're just this one thing and we have all our confidence in that one thing. And then when that one thing no longer works, then now we're put in a position to where we don't have that confidence anymore because we put all of our confidence in this one thing. We see that a lot too. We see that with people that are in jobs, like, like they are known for this one thing, and then that job dries up or that gig dries up, and now there's an identity crisis because they don't know who they are because they put all their eggs into that one basket. I want to know if y'all agree with that, disagree, but I love to hear some of y'all comments about that. I think we got one. I think confidence comes from just being able to have an abundance mindset. Yeah, that's from Les Byrne Linworth. Yeah, I definitely believe that too, because that growth mindset allow that abundance mindset allows for you to have the opportunity to grow. There's a woman, her name is Carol Dweck, and she's the one that coined the growth, mindset.
Growth.
Fix it. Yep. And yeah, just reading about that and understanding that we all have opportunities to grow. So, and a lot of that is when you do make mistakes. When you make a mistake, that's when you figure out where your mindset is. So, like, if right?
You're right. It's that resilience, man. Like,
Yeah.
so a lot of the things that you were mentioning, I agree wholeheartedly with everything that you were saying, bro. And I think that was the one thing that kept popping in my head was that word resilience, right? Because there's a lot of times that we, come against different adversities, and and this is one of the things that I always, talk to my kids about. they struggle when they're struggling with homework. I always ask them the question. I'm like, "Have you ever done this before?" And then she says, "No." Like, so why are you getting frustrated about not knowing how to do it? Has it ever been taught? Has it fully been taught to you to a point that you can, completely understand it? No.
Mm.
So why get frustrated on the fact that you don't have it down pat? Like, a lot of things that happen in life, it takes repetition, right? It takes being able to kind of see things over and over again because before you can actually get comfortable with it. And resilience, being comfortable, and confidence, those all kind of go hand in hand together, right? I don't necessarily feel confident going out and doing a presentation the first time that I did it, right? However, on time 3, I'm going in there with, ideas of what I needed to tweak from those first 2 times, what I need to do differently, and an understanding of the content much better, right? So yes, I'm going to feel a lot more confident walking into that room in front of that group than I did, with the first group. So I think some of it is that, like, going back to Bilel's original question, it comes back from experience and from being resilient, and sometimes from failure, right? Sometimes from messing up and making those adjustments. So it's just confidence building is living life, right, and experiencing different things. So now I'm at the point now where I have to go in and present something new. I have tools in my toolbox that I can use if something's not going correctly, right? Working with a group of young people, we know that you put together this plan, and this is what you're going into the room expecting to do. But that's not usually what happens, right? Because there's all these variables that kind of come into play. But I still feel confident walking into that room because I have experience working with different groups of young people over the last 20 plus years, without giving away my age, right? So I think it's just important to understand and realize that life is a big, just life experiences is a big. Adds a lot to a person's level of confidence as well. So, when we think about, confidence in young people, we have to build that. We have to help them build that up, right? And put them in different situations and scenarios to be able to build that up.
Yeah. I definitely want to say,
I
Bilel said,
agree. I
oh, go
agree
ahead,
with
bro.
Ike. Man. There's a word that you use, Ike, that needed to use a lot more, especially when we come to our young men and women. Um, repetitious. You know, repetitious, man, is just like you practice. You know, and I heard I heard Deion Sanders talk to his players that the way you practice is the way you're going to play in the game.
I tell my players that all the time.
You know what I'm saying? The way you
All the time.
practice is the way you're going to play in the game.
Hmm.
So if you don't go out there mediocre, you're gonna go out there mediocre. When you go out there mediocre, you're looking to get injured because somebody's gonna clean you up. If you're on a football field or a basketball field, somebody's gonna make you look really, 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 really bad. You understand what I'm saying? So repetitious and be intention with your repetition. You know what I'm saying? And I think that one of the things that is missing out of a lot of our teachings, especially within the city school districts and stuff like that, there's no more repetition. It's just okay. We got to get this, and you know, everybody change. Everybody change. Their course every 2 years or stuff like that. As soon as the students getting the concept of whatever they trying to get, they change it again. So a whole new one. So now they got to go back and figure out something whole new again. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying it for years.
Hmm.
Um, it's a setup and it's a business. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to these education systems that we have in our communities. It's a business. It's still a business. We may not see it like that, but I know I see it like that. It's a business. No matter if because they go to school for free, but it's a business, and we just got to get back to the small things. Make the things that matters the most the key point. And a lot of time we don't make that. And a lot of times we don't do right by the things that we know that's needed because we have to advance our own what's the word I'm looking for?
Own agenda.
Agenda. There you go. We have to
Hmm.
advance our own agenda.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like we could say, I did this and I did that. And that's what's really taking the place
Bro,
right now.
that's the
You know
key.
what I'm saying?
Bro, you make a key point, bro.
Yeah.
Because I was
That's what's
talking with
taking
somebody
place.
about that. Yeah, people want to
Hmm.
be able to say they did it on their own.
Hmm.
Nobody
Yeah.
helped them. They did it because to them, that's having the confidence, right? Like, I didn't need to go to nobody. I didn't need to ask nobody for money. I didn't have to go here. I didn't have to go there. But culturally, man, we come from and Brew, you know this better than anybody because of your travels, man. But we come from a culture of like community. We don't come from a culture of individualism. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like one person doesn't make the whole team.
Yeah.
One person isn't the community. You have people that all serve a purpose to be able to help each other.
And that's what it should be. That's what it should be like, man. And I think that I don't see we getting back to that concept though. The way the world is shaping, man. And I love going to Africa, man, because they still have a piece of this concept. A village, you think a village to raise a kid, you know what I'm saying? And I love the concept of that, and I don't think our world will ever get back to that place how we used to be. And that's the sad part about it because they take that out, they take that from under us, trying to strip us of that right. And we got some areas that still trying to want to do the village thing. I don't know. Queen Mother always talk about that. Shout out Queen Mother in heaven. You know what I'm saying? She always talk about a village.
Hmm.
You know, that's one of the things I learned from her. I always talk about village, village, village. But I was raised from a village. And that's when I go back home and I see some of these older people, man. It's a blessing for me. They still remember me. They still do this to me, and it takes them to raise me to who I am today at the end of the day. But we have to salute those who come before us and who did it. And we have to try to model some things. And I look at our show. Why don't and I was thinking the other day, we kicking facts, because we ain't talking about, you know, what they call them cats in Chicago that's getting killed and all this other stuff every day. We're not doing all that.
Yeah.
And we don't have people here over here really looking and see what we're saying to participate in what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We have four brothers over here talking about family and then how to be a better man and how to treat a woman, but nobody don't want to hear about those things. So what I'm saying? When are we gonna get couple what they call it, endorsements? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I think about that.
Real.
You
That's
know,
real.
think
That's
about
real.
stuff like real talk.
That's
Because
real.
nobody don't really want to listen to this stuff. But guess what? We gotta keep knocking that door down, bro. We gotta keep knocking that door down until people want to listen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah. And just I think about even like looking at the comments, man. Definitely want to shout out to Dr. Sean Nelms, brother Nelms, man, just for all the work that he's been doing, is doing currently, continues to do. Made a comment and said to celebrate your incompetence. Man, if that don't sound doctorial and from a book, by the way, make sure y'all go on Amazon and check out his book too, by the way. Um,
And Dr. Hayes' future
yes,
Dr. Hayes.
yes, the book as
But
well.
definitely check out Dr. Nelms. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely an inspiration, man, for a lot of us brothers, man. He's been doing it for a minute now. But celebrate your incompetence. I think, man, that's wow. Because I'm gonna tell you why. When I hear the word incompetent or incompetence, I almost get like a shiver down my spine because that's almost like for me. I don't feel that way anymore. But at one point, that was almost like somebody swearing at me. If somebody were to tell me like, yeah, you're incompetent.
Depending on how they said it and when they said it, yeah, they were. I mean, that's a reality, but
Yeah.
also as from a point of learning, right? And a
Yeah.
point of educating yourself and a point of taking yourself to the next level too,
Mhm.
realizing that, you know what, I don't know. I didn't know that, right?
Yeah. And
And
that's what he's
how will
saying
I
in his
change it
part
for
of
the
his
next time
comment.
that I'm
Yeah.
in that situation, that I don't
Mhm.
have this feeling again, because, you know,
Mhm.
I learned from that experience.
Yeah.
And as a man, I think there's a lot to be said, you know, for being able to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of, you know, with young men, like a lot of fights happen, a lot of, you know, elevated acts of violence happen
Mhm.
because of that situation, right? Because
Yeah.
either I don't know how to act and respond socially, my emotional intelligence is not where it needs to be to understand that because someone called me a name, that I don't need to retaliate against them.
Mhm.
Um, you know, but then just also, you know, as a professional, being in a place to say, oh, I don't know, educate me on that, or help me to understand, right? You know, those are phrases that you don't always hear in the professional settings, because some people don't want to feel like they're inadequate or they
Yeah.
don't know certain things. Like,
Beautiful.
listen, when I don't know something at work, I don't know. You know what I mean? That's always my response to whether it's my team, whether it's a supervisor, you know, whether it's somebody in the community. If I don't know, I don't know. I'm not going to try to make that up. Educate me, you can tell me, you can inform me, and then I can go and confirm that information. But it's not something that I take to heart, you know, that I don't understand. And I think that kind of goes back to the whole idea and conversation around confidence as well, right? You
Yeah.
know, you got to be in a place where you can accept the fact that you don't know, or you don't know what you don't know, right?
Mhm. But you got to be. I feel like there has to be an opportunity for us to be taught that, and I believe that the old collegiate process leadership development program that we all went through is it attacks that very thing. That very thing of like, yeah, we're gonna ask you a question that we know that you don't know the answer to, but we're gonna see if you're gonna BS us with an answer, or if you're just gonna tell us you don't know and you're gonna find out. And then you actually go research that thing and then come back and tell us the answer. And going back to like how does one get confidence? Think about the training that at the college level for all of us, man, that was so important. Again, we still had to deal with things because we're young and we're trying to get through it, but we had the people by us to be able to help us, to mentor us, to coach us, so that we can get past some of these things. Growing up, man, if you grew up as a person that never got any accolades, you were always told about the things you did wrong. Imagine bringing that now into the college atmosphere and then going through that time, right? Because you're gonna have professors tell you that, yo, your paper, it ain't good. And you got to go back and do this, but then you upset at the professor because you feel like it's a them problem. Like, nah, they have their PhD, doctor, or whatever. They got this job. It's a you problem because you're the one that wrote the paper and you're the one that didn't write the paper well, and just seeing
Yeah.
that. And I think sometimes like hearing it like that too can be tough. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how you came up, how you were brought up, or or something that happened, to you or whatever. But I, I think it's important, man, as men that we are a little bit more of a straight shooter. We are a little bit more of no chaser type of thing when we're talking about things, and I believe we can do things in love. We do, but and for our women, we love our women, and we see a lot with our young boys is that, and I've seen it recently, man. You talk to them, man, they looking at you like, like yeah, bro, like I'm not mom. I'm dad, you know what I'm saying? And or I'm, this is my position. And I know sometimes that's hard to take because of like having somebody in your life, man, that's a male and I'm jumping a little bit to be able to help you build that confidence. And I think, with my own son, I work with him on building his confidence too, as well. Telling him he's doing great, things he's got to work on. I'm proud of him. I love him. All of those deposits that go in to be able to help him to build his confidence, but also telling him like, yeah, like you didn't have a good practice, man. You like the other like a couple weeks ago, he was doing basketball, right? And he didn't know I was watching, and it was at the end of practice. So he will run. He got a good start, right? But then he was doing suicides. So he would run down, right? Come back. He was
They doesn't
last.
call that. No, they don't call that no more. They don't call it that no more.
I can't use that word no more. They was doing perimeter. I don't know what they call them now. Up, down,
Fun,
down and ups, whatever they
fun
call
run.
it. Okay, fun run. So, I said, hey man, hey, how's it going? You know, good. How's practice? I said, okay. I said, hey man, I saw you running. Well, what happened? Oh, my dad, I don't know, my knee was hurting. I said, okay. I said, you want to hear something? I said, you always say your knee hurting when we gotta do conditioning. So what's going on? Then he fessed up, was like, yeah, dad, I just didn't want to do it. I was tired. I said, nah, that's not acceptable, man. It's not. Like, you got to do the drill. I said, I don't want to see you coming in last again. Like, you have too much talent, too much heart, man, to be last. And I said, you don't even realize who's watching you. You didn't even know I was watching you when you was doing it. And I said, how can I trust to put you in when I know that you'll get in the drill and then you'll quit halfway through? Nah. So, but again, that wasn't me killing his confidence. That was just saying, like, hey man, I expect more out of you, and I know you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an important message, man. It's not I'm just gonna let you slide on this one and let it go. So yeah. I mean, I think that's a great message. Holding him accountable, making sure that he realizes and recognizes whether somebody's watching him or not, that he's giving his full energy. And then the other piece of that is, going to that next practice and watching him. And if he does come in last, but he gave 100%, right? That's a different conversation.
That's a different conversation.
But at least he put in that effort and that energy. So
yeah.
I think we have to not only when they don't do well, we talk to them. We got to talk to them both ways. When they don't do well and when they do well. You know what I'm saying? Hey son, you did great today. I like the way you did this and you did that. Your specific points of his day. You want to point it out. You know what I'm saying? I like the way you kick the ball. Da 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 da. I like the way you run it. You put it down and you hold the ball strong. You drag that kid into the end zone. That's what you're supposed to do every time you touch the ball. That's the mindset. You drag one or two of them. They can't let you fall, son, because you're too strong. You know what I'm saying? And then the next day, you just like what you did, Kareem. Say, hey man, hey, what happened? Why you come last? No, don't ever let that happen again. You thought I was even watching. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who is in the stand watching you because you practice those bad habits, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna follow you. You know what I'm saying? It's those bad habits that's follow you. So you know we gotta meet them where they at, man, and we gotta lead. We gotta let them know that. That's one thing I'm working on my son, man, because my son is a follower. He's a follower. He's 7, but I don't play that game, man. I'm telling you, I have some work to do on him. You know what I'm saying? And he runs. That's one thing he do. He'll run. But I need to clamp down on some other areas on him. I even started tonight. He got it in his bed now, so he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, those talks are important, man. So Eli, he's been playing basketball. He's been doing excellent. Great job. He kind of led his team to wins the last couple weeks that he's been playing out at one of these a smaller basketball training and league. So I'm super proud of him, and I always let him know that. And then I always add on those things that these are the things that we're going to work on next, right? And one of the things that I can see is his confidence kind of building week over week, right? One, because the things that we talk about, I see him start to implement them, right? One of the things that he was always hesitant to do in those initial weeks was he would get a steal, he'd be on a fast break, and then he would stop and shoot the ball. I'm like, what are you doing? There's nobody in front of you, kid. Go to the basket. Get a layup. Get an easier shot. Like, what's happening? Or he would look to pass. And I was like, all right, so this is what we're going to work on next week, right? When you get the ball, what are you going to do? I'm going to take it to the basket. and he started doing that. So, he's getting, some more points, and he's, his confidence levels, going up now to the point where we don't even have to talk about that. And we can kind of focus on other things like, okay, now rebounds are important, right? Or positioning yourself and making sure that you're aware of what else is going on in the court. You can start to have those, deeper conversations. So I say all that to say, I think those conversations about confidence have to start early on in life, right? Because at a certain point, you're trying to create something, you're trying to change that young person's perspective, or that young man's perspective, on how they feel about themselves, right? And how they hold themselves, and how they approach certain situations as well too. Which is not always, it's a lot easier to teach than it is to try to change, right?
Yeah.
So I think, as parents, as Black men, as educators, that's one of the things that we should really focus on with young people is teaching them the right way, so they're in a place where they feel confident walking into certain situations. Whether it be sports or whether it be life, right? Just making sure that they feel comfortable in those situations.
Yeah,
Amen.
man. Amen. Amen, brother. And let me say something else, man. Brew, going back to your point that you made earlier, is repetition does build confidence. Repetition
Sure
builds confidence. That's why whatever your kid, we're speaking to people that got kids now, like whatever even if you got a niece and nephew that you working with, whatever it is that they want to do or they believe they want to do, practice. When I was playing music, when I was playing drums, practice. I mean, I know my parents was like, he sounds terrible. Like, they didn't tell me that, but like, he sounds terrible right now. When I first started playing bass guitar, it was like, he's terrible. But over time, what happened? I got better. I had to go through some bad playing, some falls, some, feeling like I don't know if I should be doing this or not, but I kept going. I had people encourage me along the way. I encouraged myself. And then eventually I became a professional musician. And it's because I had to practice, even though I hated practicing. I had to practice. I had to keep doing those same things over and over again to feel confident, because we all know this, right? All three of us played some type of sport. We've done something that involves, us to be good at it. Is that, like, the more you practice and the more repetition that you get, you ever notice that after a while you stop thinking about it? Now it just becomes second nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reason why I don't cook well is because I don't practice it. If I practiced it and had 100 bad meals, but all it takes is that really one good meal for me to be like, okay, well, actually every meal I can work on something better. Like, maybe I should put more of this in or put more of that in. But once I get to that good meal, now I should be able to get to a point now to where I can now replicate that meal. Like, bro, like, I know, man, when you cook, I've seen you take stuff from different parts of the kitchen that ain't got nothing to do with each other, and it come out and it's fire. Why? Repetition. You've been doing it for so long. You don't kill
Repetition.
chickens with your hands. You know what I'm saying? You got them Jamaican hands. You don't kill chickens with your hands. So, you know what I'm saying?
Ring the neck.
Ring the neck.
I feel like, Kareem, the only reason that you're not like fully into cooking and be able to complete these masterpieces, yes, because you eat all the ingredients before you start to cook.
Yeah.
See, if you ain't have confidence, man, you wouldn't have laughed at that, right?
Well, man, hey, this has been a great show. Everybody, want to thank you all for coming on, and y'all been blowing up the comments today. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, man, we appreciate that.
Definitely do. I want to just shout out my my cousin all the way down in Memphis, Tennessee, man. My cousin Desmond Day. Definitely want to shout him out, man. That's my big cuz, man. Appreciate you in the comment for making that.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Hey, at this time, let's go ahead and do some shout outs. Who want to go first?
Yeah, I'll do a quick shout out to Scottie Pippen and his son Scottie Pippen for being the first father-son duo to record a triple-double in the NBA. Yo, Bronny, man, don't look like it's gonna happen for you, but congrats.
Hey man, Brandon time is coming, man. Y'all watch. Brandon time is coming. You know.
Yeah. We sleeping on Bronny now, man. But watch, he gonna
Hey,
come back.
Listen, I'm not. I'm snoring on Bronny. I'm snoring on him. Like he's in a whole different league right now. Literally.
He's in
Yeah,
two
I'm
leagues.
not sleeping on him. Give him 2 years.
Yeah, but yo, shout out everybody in the comments again. As Kareem mentioned, Deirdre, manager, we appreciate you for always tuning in, and staying connected. Hope that you feel a little bit better. I know you got um your procedures coming up a little later, but we're definitely thinking about you and keeping you in our prayers. Brother
Yes, man.
Smith, we definitely appreciate you for still tuning in, although you weren't on the screen today. We appreciate your comments. Dr. Nelms, we appreciate you tuning in too, bro. I don't know if you're still there, but if you are, thank you. If not, next time we see you chefing it up, man, we'll make sure we tune into your live as well too. All right. Les Burn. This
Cousin.
is one of our
Shout out,
your
cousin.
cousin. All right. We
Yeah.
appreciate you tuning in as well.
Appreciate it.
Chris, he said Chris said Isaac picked on me for 22 years of therapy and he stole all my girlfriends. That's not true, bro. I don't know why you're telling the people that. That's not true, man. I love you, bro. I love you. Who else we got in here? I think that and Trina, one of our first people to comment as well too. Glad you got that Bitcoin popping. Everybody, if you don't have some Bitcoin now, this might not be the best time to buy it because it's pretty high. But when the price comes back down, you might want to add that to your portfolio. Everybody that is in the comments that did not respond or that did not put a post, we see you. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. And I will pass it on before I close this out to my dean, Big Brother Bruce.
Hey man, big shout out to Karen Bashali. Shout out to those two new young studs we have at Brockport that just crossed the burning sands. Two good kids, man. Number two remind me of my number two. I don't know. That's all. It remind me
Yeah,
of
you got
Mike.
that mic vibe.
You got that Mike vibe, man. You got that Mike vibe. Number one, I love him, man. Good kid, man. Shout out to those two cats, man. Shout out to their Dean Alex holding it down, man. Shout out to y'all two good brothers, man. That's been doing, y'all thing family wise and all that good stuff, man. I appreciate you guys. It's always a pleasure when I come through and I get to hang out with you guys. And even y'all guys that, Kareem had me working like a slave between Kareem and James. Shout out Bama too. Shout out James Walters, man. Shout him out. My girl Toy, Carla, Dr. Richards. Who else I'm missing? Think about that set for the Rock, man. I miss the Rock, man. Country Street, keep calling me, baby.
Well, first and foremost, I want to shout out my wife, Brandy Hayes.
I was hoping you got to it before he put it in the comments, man. Congratulations, Kareem.
Thank you.
I thought he's still cutting hair. He's still cutting hair, huh?
What I told you, before we started.
Hey. You knew I knew.
Man. Balo is a true renaissance, man.
Man, does it all, man. Does it all.
So I want to shout out to this week. Definitely want to shout out again to the new bros, Bro Alpha Man, Manny and Carlos. Shout out to them. Shout out to Alex and Jahir. Shout out to Bama. Shout out to DE. They crossed over 6 this past weekend, man. Shout out to them over there. Shout out to Jason Lewis. Shout out to all them brothers, man, making it happen. Shout out to Kevin. And hey, man, I want to shout out Ro Lambda as well. Shout out to them brothers, man. They crossed over, I think, 5 or 6 as well. It was a good cluster this year in the semester. And I want to also, shout out to shout out to my school, man, and one of the bros. Just shout out to my school, man. They've they've been on it, man. My university, my school that I'm in class for, but also shout out to my university that I work at too, though, man. They put in a lot of good work over there, man, and really, making sure, man, that students, feel welcome and students are safe and everything like that. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. But shout out to them, man, for that. And also, man, want to shout out to Mbalo. I know he's gonna have something to say about this, but shout out to the Brighton Bruins for winning the sectional semifinal. It was a really good game. Shout out to bRho High School as well, man. Them boys, man, them young men, I'm sorry, they are the truth. Let me tell you something, man. Man, like just to see the speed on the field, man. So shout out to Mark and shout out to Brother Blue. Shout out to their coach and all the work that they do over there, for sure. And shout out to the Brighton and the win.
Oh, so they went home.
Monroe went home. Yeah, Monroe. Yep. This time around. So, but yeah, it's been a tough bracket, man. Section 5 AA is a tough bracket, man. There's been upsets all last week, So shout out to all the schools, man. To all the young people, y'all put on this year. Y'all really put on this year for sure, man. Definitely proud of all the Section 5 youth that's been playing. And shout out to my son, man. He made it on Pride Time Ballers. He was on there cutting up, talking about the next game with Kids Canandaigua. So,
hey, shout out to the Dallas Cowboy fans too. I haven't heard Calvin. I heard Calvin. Hey, where Calvin at? My man Calvin. I know he's down there in Texas.
Yeah,
Calvin. Calvin, if you hear me, man, I ain't hear you. You real quiet this year, big boy. Real quiet, Calvin.
The Niner fans is kind of quiet too, right?
Yeah, they are.
They're looking like the Giants out here.
Yo, I'm mad at the Giants.
Don't say that.
Yo,
bro.
you seen your boy Debo Sanders coming to the game in his outfit?
Yo, that's wild style, boy. He was wild style.
I'm not winning no games like that, man.
I said, yo,
but I have to say, you got to be confident to wear that, though.
Hey, man, he been in San Francisco for a while, so whatever that means.
Wow.
Whatever that means.
Wow. He's a football player, bro.
And that boy, football player as well.
Yeah, man. People just want to express themselves, man. Go ahead, man. Hey, if you got that confidence, man.
I want to express myself a lot of times, but bro ain't gonna express it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it takes a lot of men to wear boy shorts. All right. So, Ike, man, you gonna take us out?
After that, yeah, let's go, man, because we gotta get out of here, man. Yo, shout out to Ezra, my beautiful wife. Shout out to the kids, man, all doing their things, and whether it's gymnastics, whether it's dance, cross country, basketball, whether it's just like the academics, man. Love those kids that are draining my pockets every single day. And shout out to all the Black people doing some amazingly Black things in this world, in this country. I know, the outlook doesn't look crystal clear right now on what that means, for us. But, just stay resilient, stay confident, stay prayed up. And, these 4 years are going to fly by. So,
shout out your boy Gabe, right?
Oh yeah, always got to shout out my. Oh, no doubt, Gabe, man. 809 Sports Bar, Lyle Avenue, Exchange Street, as well as a takeout spot in Greece. If you're from the Rochester area, you know what I'm talking about. Make sure you go and check them out. Best food, some of the best town, baby.
Yeah, I stand on that.
And drinks too.
The drinks go in.
Hey, matter of fact, Gabe, if you watching, man, just go ahead and have your family endorse us, man. We'll come up there. We'll do a whole commercial bit, everything for you, bro.
Yeah, we'll do a live broadcast from 809 one day. You just got to make sure you turn the music down a little bit for us.
They ain't gonna happen.
All right, man. We out of here, man.
Yep. Peace.
Love you, my brothers.
Yes, sir.
Much love. Love you, bro.